It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, model citizens. Have I got a show for tonight? I've been doing this long enough that I don't generally get nervous at this point in the show, and I gotta say I'm actually a little bit nervous. I've been playing with my project for tonight, trying to figure some stuff out, and I gotta admit, there are parts of it that have me stumped, so we'll see if we can figure out some of it together, and hopefully somebody on the in the chat is going to be an expert in the topic, and we'll figure it out together. But as you can see, I'm looking down at the desk. So yeah, I have something on my desk that we're going to work with today, and we'll see what happens. We'll see. It's going to be. We'll see. Let's say hello to Anthony Dodge, the Model Train Outsider. We got Cameron from Caboose 121, Roy Hardwick, Containerman 68, Devon McKenzie's in the house, Don Head's here as well. We got Rick from the Fultz Bailey Model Railroad, Dwight from the Curly Express, Lauren Hurwitz is in the house, Luke C. is joining us as well, Lynn McCurdy in the High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club. We got Mark Stafford in the house, Bernard from Mini Princess here, Andrew, Mr. Victovid, Nathan DeLay setting up for his meet and greet this weekend, March 11th at Northlands in Flemington, New Jersey. Nisi J is here as well, Mike's Deep Run Railroad, Norm Miller in the house. Hey, Nora's here as well, Northern Ohio Railroad action, haven't seen you in a little while. We've got Dennis from Otter Creek and Rio Grande. Pete Soretta is also joining us. We got Possum Bayou here, Railroad Enthusiast, Rayron VR, Ron Moen, Roy Eltham. We got Sparkles 107, Thomas Split Rocks in the house, Stormy Sky Rail Productions, Thomas Grassi is here, Train Wild, and last and always least, we have 3Dub, also known as Wigwag. I see Almar is sneaking in, a couple other people have snuck in as well. Thanks everyone for being here to help me figure out this little project that that we're gonna go through. I guess the only thing to do is to, I guess, just jump in it and see what comes of it. So as people know, I've got a layout and I've been working towards some sort of operation scheme of some sort, and it just always seems to be every little project's just a little bit out of reach, whether it's, you know, figuring out how the layout's going to operate or do whatever. So tonight, what I'm going to attempt to work on is programming my locomotives so that they run on the layout the way I want them to run and the way they align, like with the throttle, right? So the throttle's got all the, you know, all the function buttons, and you can program the function buttons, but I need to like match the locomotive to the function button. So this is the plan. This is the plan. Nothing is in the box. Everything is already taken out of the box. Yeah, we're gonna attempt to do some programming. I set up a couple things on the desk. This is kind of just the programming track, but I've got another little loopa track as well. It loops down here on this end, just in case I need a little bit of a longer run, because I don't really know exactly what I'm getting into and what I'm gonna need to do. As you can see up here in the corner, we're going to be using the ESU Loco programmer. I have very little experience with it. The thing that I'm having the hardest time with is understanding how to, like, what setting to change for what. So a little bit of what tonight is going to be is just a bunch of experimentation and sort of figuring it out as we go. Yeah, we can. I don't know if ESU is a hot topic, but you know, if people want to discuss whether one decoder is better than the other, you're more than welcome to do so. But you know, So what happened was, how did we get here, right? I mean, that's the real question. I've got a bunch of BLI locomotives, and BLI locomotives don't have a brake function. And what I mean by a brake function is you rev the locomotive up, you send it going down the track, and when you turn the throttle down to 0, instead of the locomotive stopping, you would hit the brake button. And this comes a little bit from, or my desire comes from wanting to use this guy. So you would notch it up, you'd kill it, and then you would use the brake here to actually slow it down. No midlife crisis yet. Rick, that is a good question. I don't know. I'm hoping there's an expert here. I think the ESU decoder or ESU Loco programmer can only program ESU decoders. One of the reasons that I know you would want to use an ESU Loco programmer is if you wanted to upload your own sound files. The locomotive I'm using today is an Atlas S2 locomotive that came with sound. So the locomotive already has all of its sound files loaded, so I'm not going to be loading any sound files. But should you want to do that, that's the way to do it. Yeah, somebody said I thought you were the expert. I am definitely not. Definitely not the expert. Yeah, that proto throttle's awesome, and I want to use it with these locomotives. So we got to get that going. Phil Monat, who is a layout operator that I've been able to go and experience an operation session on, uses the brake function. and I really enjoy operating that way. So I thought, you know, we'd give it a try. Yep, so momentum with braking is the goal. Send the locomotive down the track, and then you have to use the brake to stop it. Thomas says, yes, that's correct. ESU programmer can only program ESU decoders. There you go. Oh, here it is. I thought you were the expert. No, not the expert. Here's a fact. I have not worked on my layout in 2023 yet. Well, today is the day. Today is the day. Cameron says that's a fancy hoodie you got there. Looks like the wrong green on the back. So we have this joke going, if you guys don't know. Caboose 121 likes angel green for my color. But you know, I'm not as specific to some things. So this green's a little bit different. Oh, as I trip over things back here. This green's a little bit different, but this is a custom hoodie that I had made, and I love that when it zips up, the logo matches in the center. Momentum with braking. Braking with a B-R-A-K-I-N-G. And now I just really hope that I spelled that correctly. PC green as in Penn Central green? Is that what you're saying? Thank you, Nora. Appreciate it. If people want information on the hoodies, ask in the chat and maybe we'll get the person to answer. We'll find out. We'll see. I always thought Penn Central was black, not green. Yeah, I know you. I know you were trying to be funny. I know. I get it. I saw it coming. All right, so what do we have? So on the display right now, this is the Loco programmer software. This is version 5.2.3. That's the one that we're going to use today. It's the one I've been playing with for a while. I also went, and you can download the sound file. So if you buy a blank decoder, you can go to ESU's website and download these sound file configuration files. And we're gonna possibly use one of those as well. So the first thing that I did is I popped this locomotive on here. Let's see if I can. Let's see how many cameras I can get going before I break something. So this locomotive here, this is number 301, and you can kind of see it says 301 up here. So what I did before the show is I read all of the CVs from this decoder. And what that means is I basically took a snapshot of all of the current settings before I change anything. So before I changed it, I saved it all, and I don't. You probably can't see it up here, but I made up a name. It's 301 MEC because this is locomotive 301 for the main central, and I just saved it as a file. So now I have a snapshot of how everything's set. So you can like come to the driver's cab. Let's actually see if this is going to work. So when I kick go, so I'm trying to, now I got two mics on and I'm not sure how well this is going to work. I got this second mic right here to try and pick up the sounds of the locomotive. But it's got all the typical sounds. People's favorite bell. The horn. F3. What is F3? Oh, the coupler clanking. Some of these I don't know what they do. I guess we'll figure it out eventually. F8, for some reason on these, you have to turn it on to turn the sound on. It's by default, it's off. So if you turn it off, the sound stops. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Glad to hear the sound is good. I was afraid it was going to start echoing or something like that. Russ, I agree. Life does get in the way, but I got to tell you, sometimes you got to take a little bit little bit of a break. There we go. Here's our history lesson for tonight. New York Central painted one of their E8s century green, what they called the color that became Penn Central green. Dwight's asking what this program is. This program right here is the Loco programmer software. So the device that I am using, now if I have this right here, is the ESU Loco programmer. And I don't know how far it can go. ESU Loco programmer, and it comes with its own specific software. So, yeah. And this is the stuff I have to figure out, Thomas. I don't know where the heck that setting is. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I just don't know that I haven't found it yet. Andrew, Mr. Victovid, thank you so much for contributing to the Humanity Fund. That works. Thank you. Yeah, Mike, it is hard to do that sometimes. Yeah, it's hard. How do we get from F muting sound to F turning on sound? You know, it happens. My understanding is no, but you know what? We can take a look, or maybe somebody will know. But let's just see. Loco programmer software. PC software. Let's see. Loco programmer PC. Yeah, it looks like it is PC only. I don't see anything that says Windows. So yeah, it looks like PC only software. Mike, 65 years, that is probably less than some people. Yeah, so people are, Bill Kennedy's agreeing, Ken N's agreeing, yeah, only PC. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta buy one of each computer, just like you have to own one of each locomotive, right? I guess it's just the way it is. But the thing I wanted to get into with this is I read the CVs from the locomotive that's on the desk, and I got them into here, and you go to this, you go to the decoder setting here, and you start going through all this stuff, and there's a lot of settings. There are just many settings. But the one that I'm primarily interested in is this table right here. If you are on a phone, I apologize, you'll need to squint a little bit, but one of the things with uploading the CVs is that it doesn't know what is in the different sound slots. So there are 27 sound slots on this decoder, but none of them have a name. So you don't know what they are. Yeah. We can watch Glue Dry too. Are CV values and their relation to a function a standard? The NMRA has set standards for certain CVs. One of the big criticisms of certain decoders are that they use the standard CVs up to a certain number, and then after another number they have gone and done their own thing. So yes, there are standards. Some companies follow them 100%. Some companies don't follow them at all. Some follow them 100%. It all kind of depends, but the NMRA is the one that is, they hold the standards committees. They work with the different manufacturers to try and standardize everything so that us as operators have some semblance of a some semblance of a set thing. But when you upload them, it doesn't know what's what. It does know, like, for example, you can kind of see, like, let's find one that, oh, so address is a good one. Enter the address of your locomotive. This is the same CV's, pretty much whatever decoder you use. So that's pretty much, you know, it knows when it reads that CV, it pulls it in, it knows what it is. But the sound slot settings, it just doesn't know. Which you can do, though. You can go here and click on it and then, like, click. Oh, none of the sounds are loaded. I forgot, right? Because when you read the CVs, it doesn't read the sound files. So let's fix this, because we need to fix this. And what I figured out is that I can open one of these files that I downloaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this file here, 73411, Loc Sound Select Diesel Alco 6-cylinder 539T, which is the engine that's in an S2 locomotive, full throttle version 5. So we're going to open this up. And the good thing about opening this up is that now, when you go to things like the sound slot settings, you see they're all labeled. And that's going to be important to do what we want to do. Because what we want to do now is we want to go to this function table. I'm realizing this is confusing for me. This has got to be confusing for everybody else too that's never done it before. The decoders I have, the drop-in decoders I've used, a lot of them are Digitrax decoders. I have one locomotive with a TCS decoder. I have a whole bunch of Paragon 3 and Paragon 4 decoders, and I've got, I'm getting a pretty substantial set of ESU decoders as well. Again, I'm switching primarily to the ESU decoders for the braking. So now we've got this map. And now what we have to do is go through this map and figure out how to set up the brake on this guy. And this is where it gets a little confusing. And this is where I'm not sure. This is kind of like the trial and error portion. I'm going to just start changing settings. I don't really know what's going to happen. I have no idea what, I was playing with this before, so I a little bit know what's going to happen, but I don't 100% know what's going to happen. So you can go to the driver's cab, and I keep going back and forth between this one and this one, right? So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to write this decoder data. So this is the base file that I downloaded from ESU. No changes to it so far. I just realized it even changed the address of my locomotive, which I'll change in one moment. Yeah, I have a bunch of them. I'm pretty impressed with people that are able to just use all one decoder for everything. I don't know. On Tsunami 2, I can hit the brake by pressing the F11 key. They get mapped to different things, and that's one of the things I want to move around. Okay, long address. I'm going to change this to 301, and we're going to write that to the locomotive. So we're writing that to this actual locomotive. One thing that's different is with JMRI, when you're using Decoder Pro, it'll actually move the locomotive so you know something is happening. The ESU programmer doesn't move the locomotive, so I had to figure that out by changing some settings and figuring out whether it was actually writing to the decoder. So this is my goal, right? Split says I'm not smart enough to have different decoders. I want to try and map the function buttons on all of the locomotives to be the same. So if I'm using a BLI decoder and I want to, well, I mean, all of the decoders, pretty much F1 is the bell, right? But let's say one of them wasn't the bell, I would remap that to the bell so that they were all the same. So F8 mutes my computer. Does it mute my computer? Oh, F8 does mute the computer. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. But at F8, if you have function keys, is to mute. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Okay, so we've got this address. So I'm going to go to the driver's cab. I'm going to turn it on again. I'm going to see if I can still move it, which I can. But one of the things you can kind of see, which you can't see because I'm actually covering it up. So let's do this here. When I bring it up right now, it moves. But when I bring it down, it stops pretty quickly. It doesn't keep running. I'm going to zoom out. Because, zoom out, other way. So I want a little bit more room. So what I want to do is not have it stop when the throttle goes to 0. I want to stop it with the, with having to hit a button. One of the things that I thought, and I'm going to explain this because I completely screwed it up. And I figure that if I screwed it up, somebody else is going to screw it up. So I thought I would share my mistake. So I was like, okay, I want to stop the locomotive. I found this setting here that says dynamic brake settings. And I was like, okay, time from maximum speed to stop when dynamic brake is enabled. And I read that wrong. I'm just going to say straight up, I read that wrong. So the first thing I did was I set this to 63.75 seconds, thinking that then when I go and write this to this locomotive, which we're going to do right now. So I thought what I was doing was writing the changes to that locomotive that when I start running it now, it's just going to keep going, and it's going to go, and it's going to go, and it's going to go. So let's wait for this to write data. We'll go back to here, change direction. So now, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to ramp this locomotive up. I'm going to send it across the thing. I'm going to kill the throttle, and it's just going to keep going, and I'm going to have to stop it somehow. So let's see if that works. I bring it up. The locomotive doesn't move because you got to hit the go button. And this is what I don't understand. Oh, it did stop. Oh, never mind. I thought the sound was about to start up on it, but the sound didn't start up. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up. Locomotive's going to start moving. Now I'm going to stop it when it gets here, right? So I bring the throttle down, and I'm thinking it's just going to keep going, but it doesn't. So I'm trying to figure out, why did it stop in about 7 seconds, 7 to 10 seconds? Why didn't it just keep going? Because I set the dynamic brake setting to 63.75 seconds. So I'm kind of baffled right now. I'm trying to figure things out, right? I go here and not that one. I go to this one, function mapping. And I say, okay, here is dynamic brake, shift mode, dynamic brake alco. I'm like all confused. I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm a little bit baffled. And that's kind of, I'll explain that 1 second, Pete. Yeah, so at this point, I know what I want. I don't know how to get there, so I'm just hitting buttons. The 255 value next to 63 seconds. 255 are the number of steps. Roy, help me out, or somebody help me out. It's 8-bit. It's 8 bits of data. 8 bits of data have 256 steps. So you can go, if we come back here, right, so this 255, so you can go from 0 to 255. I don't know if you can see that. So, right, anywhere from 0 to 255, and those are the number of steps that you have for something that is 8 bits. If you go up to 16 bits, it's 32 something something something, and you get a lot more steps. So as the bits increase, you get more stuff. Mathing, you're out. You know you love this stuff. You know you love it. Okay, so that didn't work, right? So we're gonna set this back to it was at 10 seconds. So we'll set that back there. So, oh, there you go. Oh, so 8 bits is 32 something. So 255 is 4 bits? Or was I right with 8 bits? I don't remember. It's a bit thing. I thought 255 was 4 and 16 was 32. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. 8 bits is 255. All right, so that's wrong. What I did is wrong. Do not change the dynamic brake settings to increase your momentum. That is the wrong thing to do. So I just went kind of looking for other, things to set. So it's not in here. It's not in compatibility. It's not, that's probably what it is. There we go. 2 bits is a quarter. Ken, it is so confusing. Thomas, I have looked at the directions for the user guide for the ESU decoder. I found it so not helpful whatsoever. It didn't. What I learned that I didn't know is that the brake function is also connected to the sound function. So you set the sound function, and then that controls the brake function. But there is no physical brake function, which was kind of weird, right? Like, see, but that's where I get confused, because I don't understand this. This is where I'm still confused. I'm just, anyway, we're getting somewhere though. Okay, compatibility, DC settings. Okay, so drive characteristics. This is what I got to next. I have broken a lot of things. So where I got to next was acceleration and deceleration. And I saw it says, time from stop to maximum speed, 20 seconds. Time from maximum speed to stop, 20 seconds. Enable brake time. So it's saying brake time. Yeah, and see, so this is where I'm getting very, very confused too. Is I'm told that what I want is independent braking on my model, not dynamic braking. I was told that dynamic braking is just sound, whereas independent braking is what stops the locomotive. Correct. And that's why I was so confused. And that's what I don't understand. But let's keep playing. Let's keep playing. Speaking of 2 bits, there's 2-bit faults chipping in with a super chat for $2. Thank you so much as well. So go into enable break time. I don't know where enable break time is. Does anyone? Oh yeah, enable break time. It's right here. So yes, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and, well, and that's the other thing is I can't hear it. I don't know. Proto throttles don't do train brakes. The proto throttle, I believe you set to the independent brake. So here's the thing. So I'm in this function mapping thing, right? And I'm looking for how, like, where do I set the independent brake? So you can see here the independent brake is a sound. So I can set the sound to for the independent brake. But when you go to the logical functions, the only logical function is dynamic brake. But I can't find anything that tells me what the dynamic brake logical function does. So that's what I'm very confused about. So the proto throttle, technically I'm going to map function 10 to the brake. And when SplitRock says that the proto throttle has 2 brake functions, what it has is you set the independent brake to the feather part, but then you can go all the way over and it does a hard stop on the brake, which is kind of the two different settings. Yeah, I know. So people know John Farrington, RailServe John, as I call him. And I was trying to get him to come on tonight, but he wasn't available. So I've just been poking around trying to figure a lot of this out myself. But here's what I've learned, but here's what's weird, I guess, a little bit about it. So if I go to driving characteristics, if I change the deceleration all the way up, this is momentum, is what I've learned. So enable brake time deceleration is momentum. I don't know. Why don't they call it momentum? I'm also going to turn down the acceleration time because I want it to speed up a little bit faster. So that's what we're going to do there. So let's write this. Let's write this just so we can start seeing what's going to happen, just because, you know, I'm trying to figure things out one at a time. Dynamic braking uses the traction mode. The connected decoder is not a loc sound decoder. Well, isn't that interesting? Let's try this again. Let's try it one more time. What was I reading? Dynamic braking uses traction motors to slow the train down, but you still need to apply the train brake, not the independent brake, to slow down. I don't know. Yeah, Frank, it's got me scratching my head also. So, independent brakes are brakes on the locomotives. What's the brake that sets the air, that sets... What are the brakes that send air to the boxcars? Okay, so enable acceleration time. So we're now going to accelerate faster, and it should just keep going. It should never stop. So if we go back here, if we fire it up, automatic brake. But I don't know. I'm so confused. Okay, so we're going to make it go forward. So I'm going to start it up. When it gets to here, I'm going to stop it. And theoretically, it's just going to run off the end of the table. So you notice it sped up much faster. I killed it. And now it just keeps going. It doesn't stop now, right? So throttle's down. Locomotive is still going. Now, here's where it gets a little confusing for me. If I hit F4, it stops. But F4 is dynamic brakes. It's supposed to just be sound. Wait, what's also called automatic brakes? Air is train brakes. So independent brakes are the locomotive. Dynamic brakes are the traction motors. Air brakes are automatic brakes. See, this is just, anyway. So why does the locomotive stop when I press F4 if we just had this whole discussion about dynamic braking not stopping the locomotive? Before I make another change, the other thing I want to try is independent braking is supposed to be what we use to stop this, right? But yeah, I know, right? I'm so confused. Let's take a break. Rick wants to take a break. Let's take a break. Let's say thank you.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
All right, so I don't hear the brake sound because I don't have F8 on, so I don't have the sounds going. You'll just stick the momentum that's built in. Well, that's what I'm playing with, is the built-in momentum. So before we go any farther, though, one thing I want to do is I want to try hitting F10 instead of hitting F4, and I want to see if the locomotive stops. I actually haven't tried that yet. I've tried the F4 thing, but the thing I don't understand is if dynamic brake is sound only, why did the locomotive stop when I hit F4? So we're going to go back here. We're going to turn the locomotive on again. We'll move it back out of the way. We'll get it going up to speed. Bring the throttle down. Now it's just going to keep going again, right? No throttle. Locomotive's going to go for about a minute because we turned that up. So the question now is, what happens when I hit F10? Nothing. So F10 is independent. Why, when I'm hitting the F10 button, is nothing happening? Why do I have to hit F4? This is the part, independent brake, F10. So are they labeled backwards? They could be just labeled backwards. So this is where I'm just like, so F4 stops the locomotive, which is what I want it to do. Well, and see, this is what I don't understand is dynamic brake the logical function dynamic brake what stops it? And why shift mode is also selected? They're independent of the function designation. Yeah, see, I've tried to read this. Dynamic brakes are not fitted to every locomotive. There you go. So I guess the good news is when I hit F4, it stops. The bad news is I don't understand the setting. Like, I'm unclear about it. The other thing that it doesn't do that I kind of would like it to do is, so F4 is on right now, right? But the locomotive stopped. Here, so F4 is on, right? I believe if I bring up the thing, it still moves. So now I have to unclick it and click it again to stop it. Oh, nope. So when the throttle's up, the dynamic brake doesn't work, but when the throttle's down, it does. And this could be, Dave, this could be it as well. It could be mislabeled. I don't know. And I don't know how to find out. Let's see how many times I can say I don't know during this stream, because I'm definitely getting the numbers up there. When I go to the sound slot settings, I don't know how to find out. I don't know how to find out what sound slot whatever is. I don't know. Yeah, I may need to do this again with somebody that, like, bring somebody up that knows, because this is just, it's not well, Mark, I kind of hope that's true too. No, it's not mislabeled, it is complex. So the other thing that I'm wondering about is, you see F9 is drive hold. So drive hold makes me think that if I go here and if I press, oh, let's get it turned on for a second. No, I know drive hold isn't it, but I think if I hit F9, which is supposedly drive hold, if I bring this up, it shouldn't move, right? Isn't that what drive hold does? Is keeps it from moving? But see, I still have to use F4 to stop it. Well, and this is what I thought too, is that sounds are separate. So what I jumped on a conversation. There was a conversation going on the MRH forum, and I jumped in and I asked, I said, I have some locomotives with low sound select microdecoders. I can't figure it out, is basically what I said. Does anyone have a screenshot? This guy named Brian posted his screenshot, and he says he uses F4 for drive hold and F6 for independent brake. So he is hitting F6. It's making noises. So he is hitting F6. So, right, so I get it. If the protothrottle is all independent only, why when I hit F10 doesn't the locomotive stop? Well, spoiler alert, I haven't even gotten to the map. Right, okay, right. So he says F6 is independent braking, right? So we go up here to F6 and we look and we say, okay, if the locomotive is moving, if it's driving and you hit F6, the sound is independent brake. There's no logical functions. Only the sound being independent brake. If it's stopped and he hits F6, well, then it holds the locomotive. It's drive hold. So when you increase the throttle, you hear the motor rev up, but it doesn't move, right? That's the idea of drive hold. My understanding of drive hold is if the locomotive stopped and you ramp it up, that it should go. So he is using F6 as the independent brake on his locomotive, but all he has set is the sounds. So I asked, I said, oh, so are the functions tied in with the sounds? And basically what was concluded was that, yeah, I don't understand it. I'm confused. So I hope everybody has learned a lot during today's lesson in having no clue what they're doing, because I'm very confused. Yeah, the guy was setting up for his proto throttle. I'm just trying to set it up, period. So this is EFCU Loc but it's not Loc 5, it's Loc Select Micro, which has less functions than the 5. So I'm not sure. Yes, so drive hold should allow me to notch without affecting the Loco's speed. But I don't know, like, what... I mean, I guess I can, you know, turn... So the other thing that's interesting, too, is the F10 here is momentary. It's not actually, but, like, I can turn all these on. I can turn all these on. See, and I rev up, and it starts going. But why is it, like, I don't know what's happening. Drive hold should be on now. Drive hold, it says it's F9. All of these should be on now, so it shouldn't move. But yet it does. So, all right, so I can go back to factory reset. Here's the problem with factory reset. I'm gonna load this file. This file that I'm loading right now are the factory defaults for this locomotive, and we'll write them. Overwrite defaults next. So what I'm setting this up as now is how this decoder came out of Atlas. Oh, Don Iris already answered you. Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Here we go. Yes, spoke is coming from my brain. Oh, is that what it is? The German to English translation? So here's my problem. When I now go to function mapping, how do I know which one's the independent brake? Because now all these things just say sound slot 4, 3, 5, 8, whatever. I don't know which is the independent brake anymore. What's my email address? If you go to my About page on YouTube, or you can send, I mean, you can send it to me on Facebook. Oh, I have a message on Facebook. It is a picture of a cat watching my stream. You can, yeah. Paul, is the decoder broke or is Heath broke? And it looks like the poll has started, and we're going at it. But all right, the real question is the independent brake sound function or an activation function? I don't know, and this is where I'm having this is where I don't know. So what I did find is if you download the file, it tells you, let's see. Oh, did it not? Of course I'm missing the ones that I need. All right. I gotta go somewhere else. If I go here, yeah, exactly. Check your email and open that file. All right, 1 second. Oh, you got me a file. Now I have to figure out which email you sent it to. Nope. That's not it. Which email? I don't know. Okay, let me go here. Let's see. I'm checking all my emails one at a time. Nope. I don't see it on any of my emails yet. Hopefully it just needs to to come through. I'm looking at the email for the one that's on my YouTube. Yeah, I have a file. Have you tried using the F10 from your throttle versus the programming software? It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I should be okay. I mean, I guess the thing I could do now, well, so we wrote, I can't remember if I did this. So I'm writing the data back to factory reset. I can just kind of whack at it now and just try all the different functions and see if any of them work. I've got three email programs open, and I don't see it yet. Send it to me over. Send it to me on here, on Facebook. Will it not let you send it on Facebook? Okay. So this is supposedly. So let's see. If I hit go. So this is the other thing I don't understand. Now, with this setting, F8, the sound is on when it, now, and then you click it to turn it off. I can't figure out what the difference is between the function settings that make it on when it's on or off when it's off, or make it latching when it's not latching, or, you know, or what? Like, I don't know what's going on. All right, so we got a file. We're going to try loading a file. Let's see. Let me try and put it in the right spot. Let's see. Documents, Loc programmer. And let's put it here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to come over here, and there's the file. So this is the file they're saying just open it up and see what he did. So let's say open. Well, hold on. Before I do that, you hear the sounds, right? So theoretically, if I hit these, one of these should be, see, like, I don't know how to set that to not be latching. Well, that seems to be ramping it up. None of these are brake squeal. Like, I would think if I hit one of these, like, just like you hit that, and you hear the horn, right? The bell, right? We all hear the bell. But, I mean, I guess it needs to be moving for the brake squeal? Nope, wrong thing. Oh. Yeah, so I don't know. Stop just cuts the power. F9. So you think F9 should be the brake? Yeah, I don't... Do I need to be going faster? See, this is... I don't feel like I'm a complete idiot, but this makes me feel like a complete idiot. So let's open up this file that I was sent, and let's see what this file has in it. Alright, so this is 3277. Brake settings, 10 seconds. Drive characteristics, these are all at default right now. Function mapping. So here's the function map. See, and again, it just says sound slots. So I don't really know what's happening. F4, I'm wondering if he's got F4 as his brake or not. Which again then has that dynamic brake thing in there. What I would really love is if there was some guide somewhere that said logical function dynamic brake does XYZ. I haven't been able to find that yet. So that's where I'm getting confused. What doesn't exist in English? The manual doesn't exist in English? And that's where I'm getting frustrated. I'll be honest. I'm a little frustrated. I think I have somewhere, if I come over here, let's see, did I have it here? No. Where do I have it? I did find some manuals, but they all said different things. And that's what was confusing to me, was that they were saying different, what am I looking for? Documents. Not documents. I'm looking for downloads. Go back. Where are the downloads? Downloads. Oh, I'm blind. Downloads. Oh, so I don't seem to have them now. So there are manuals that I have found, but the manuals... So what I can tell you about this file is that it works. So which F key does he hit to stop the locomotive? Rick, I have read 2 ESU manuals and neither tell me what to do. You can reverse engineer from this, but I don't know, like, I don't know whether he's got F4 set up as his brake. So I would need to know, like, is F4 his independent brake? Or is F10 his independent brake? I would need to know that. So sound slot 11, I know through my reading, is supposedly the independent brake. So theoretically, when I hit F10, it should stop the locomotive. So let's write this to the locomotive and see what happens. You know, I don't know. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will magically work. No supported decoder can be detected. Let's try it again. Sometimes it happens. F10 is brakes. That makes sense. Yep, sound slot 11. And this is where I get into that confusion again, is if you look at this, sound slot 11, there is no logical functions. So how is it that by just setting a sound and not setting any function, any like motive function, that it's going to stop the locomotive? All right, so driver's cab, so we're going to go 3277. So now when I hit go, nothing's happening. Did I break it? Not a thing. Stop. Uh-oh. Let's try it again. Nope. Well, that worked well. Information functions. Nope. Oh, here's interesting. F10. Sound. Oh, momentary. Here's where you set the momentary button, or inverted. Ah, I found it. Under information. Why is it under information? I don't know. Let's try setting the address to, I don't know why this would make a difference, but 301, use long address. Let's try writing it. ESU files are supposed to be pretty pretty generic. Meaning like you can take any of these sound files and load them to any ESU decoder. So I highly doubt that I broke anything, but maybe. Motive functions are break. Read what Tim just wrote. I'm completely blanking. All right, so if I go here and hit go, nothing's happening. All right, the sounds are just really low. I don't know if you can hear them. Okay, so I can control sounds. Can I make it move? Can I make it move? Do I need to do something to make it move? Why wouldn't it be moving? So what is the setup that's now preventing it from moving? Any ideas? So let's go back here. Let's load the original because we know that works. So if drive hold is on, I should still be able to ramp it up. Yeah, sound slot 11 is independent brake. Correct. Yep, I agree with that. But it wasn't, yeah, I don't know what the motor settings are. But it wasn't moving at all. I don't know why it wasn't moving at all. So let's see. Maybe I broke it. Boy, that'd be fun if I let the smoke out of this guy, huh? Let's see if we can get this thing back working again. Once you lower it, you can't increase it? Is that what you're saying? There's no logical function for the select. What? So logical functions don't work at all? Is that what we're saying? Oh, probably bring that down. Well, looks like I did something to the locomotive now, because the locomotive now, isn't working, isn't moving. Is it possible I broke the locomotive? Oh, there it goes. Now it's moving. All right, so maybe it was just stuck. All right, so locomotive moves. Let's go back to that other file. Boy, I'm a sucker for punishment. Brake settings tab. What? I don't understand how these go together. There's no logical function for the select. So are you saying that on the select decoders, this logical function thing does nothing? Throw it away and buy another one? Yeah. All right, so let's write to the decoder data. See if we can get it to work again. Go to brake settings. Where are brake settings? I don't know where brake settings are. Oh, brake settings. All right, hold on. Let's wait till this writes. Brake settings. All right, I'm in brake settings. And what is he saying to do? Brake settings tab, dynamic brake settings, CV179. You're right. That's this guy. Yep. But dynamic brakes is just sound. Independent brakes is what stops the locomotive. Unless ESU is using the terms backwards. See, this is what's interesting to me. The Germans use dynamic brake setting to stop the locomotive. So, So on an ESU decoder, is dynamic brakes your independent brakes and your independent brakes are your dynamic brakes? But I guess what I don't know now is why doesn't the locomotive move with Don's file? Why doesn't it move? This is what I'm not clear on. Let's see, function mapping. Are there any of these? Disable brake stand, dynamic brake, shift mode, acceleration shift mode, dimmer, sound slot 1, 15, a whole bunch of different sound slots. Might be motor stuff that you loaded. So you asked Don Iris, am I supposed to be using F10 to stop the locomotive or F4 to stop the locomotive? So these sound settings right here, you know, so sound slot 11, right, on F10, and then sound slot 6 in dynamic brake shift mode. That's the same as what this file is. So he uses F10. But didn't you just say... See, so F10, oh, no, not that one. That's the wrong one. I want to use this one. Oh, maybe it's only on. There are some functions that only work. All right, so I've got this map, right? F10 is independent brake, and then F4 is dynamic brake shift mode, dynamic brake. So those are the same settings that Don Iris has for F10 and for F4. So if I write this, then theoretically, F10 should stop the locomotive. But when I press F10, oh, let me try something. It'll jump off the table soon. So let's try this, because I just found this, right? So functions. So F10, let's take it off of momentary. F10 is sound. F9 is logical. All right. So let's okay, so I turn that off. Let's see if I do this. I think I have to rewrite it. Is the momentary F10, that's got to be just for the driver's cab, right? I mean, that doesn't translate to other throttles. So that's got to just be for this. So you think I need to hit F8 first and then it'll start moving? All right, so driver's cab, 301. So if I hit go right now, and then I start moving it, when I hit F10, it doesn't stop. It's still going. It didn't stop. So why doesn't it stop? Right, moment checked in sound. Same thing. F10, independent brake, functions, F10, sound. Anthony, thanks for coming. And my understanding would be theoretically, if F10 was the independent brake, if I put the independent brake on, independent brake on, I should be able to drive this up and it shouldn't move because it's being held, right? So why, if I have the independent brake on, is it moving? Go back to the decoder and function mapping. So Pete, if I make F10 physical, it'll then reference this column, and there's nothing in that column for F10. Or you say, good, Anthony. Oh, take care, everyone. See you later, Anthony. It'll start to move even if you don't hit F8. You won't. Yeah, see, that's what I would have thought too. It would have moved, but for some reason, his file, it wasn't moving. Yeah, I could try resetting the decoder. I don't think that's it though, because I mean, if I go here and then we hit go, oh, and if I start moving it, hold on, it's still thinking. Hold on. All right, so if I start it moving, and it's moving, for whatever reason, F4 works and it stops. It stops perfectly. I mean, I guess the thing to do is just use F4 and forget about trying to figure all this out. Right? I mean, that's... So F10, independent brake. So I could go here, though. What I would like to do is dynamic brake. I could put this on momentary, because then what I could do is... Oh, interesting. This says physical. Dynamic brake says physical, but if I go here to this, there is nothing here. There is nothing under physical. Maybe Pete Soretta, maybe I'm starting to think sound slot 11 is independent brake. Pete Soretta may have a thought there. I wonder if I go back here and change function 10 to physical, if then it will, if then the independent will stop it. Yeah. Now I understand why you're saying that, because why would F4 be physical? There's nothing in that, but it's stopping it. And then F10 is independent brake. All right, so let's back this up. I'm sure that's not good for the thing. All right, so we're starting it up. It's going to start making noise. So now I get it moving. Yeah, Pete, now I'm getting it. I'm a little slow, but I'm getting there. All right, so now it's moving. I kill it. It's still rolling. Nope. Didn't work. Didn't work. I was hopeful. So it's like what? Like... Oh, it's still going forward. So if I leave it on momentary, I can like hit the button and feather it. Oh. This is where I'm just like baffled. I think most people are baffled with me as well. So I was hoping, you know, 50th birthday, I was hoping that this would kind of kick things into gear, and I would, it would all make sense, and I'd go to sleep happy tonight. But apparently that's not gonna... Did I get under the engine and adjust the brakes? Maybe the brake shoes need changing. They could. They could. Can you put a load 4 or 5 heavy cars on, then try to... Oh, interesting. Interesting. Although it's a switcher, I mean, you run them around with nothing on them all the time. So it's that's for my birthday. I just got stuff. Luke, you may have a point there. Just start bashing all the buttons. That is true. Maybe if I just keep bashing the buttons, it'll work. The thing I do want to turn off, though, well, no, it's fine. It's fine. What I was gonna do is I was gonna turn off, play only if drive sound is enabled. And then there's ways to set it up too that it, I don't know. I'm just baffled. So dynamic brake works. I don't know what to set where. I implore you to take the function settings from, but what I'm saying is the settings are the same. The only two functions that I'm that I'm looking at right now are F4, which Don Iris is saying isn't it? So we're looking at F10. So aren't these the settings that Don has? He has independent brake set for F10. I guess the question that I need to look at is, what does he have set here for F10, right? That's what we're saying. So let's try this. So let's go here. Let's not save anything. So he has momentary and sound. F10. Momentary sound. So if I go back to this file, F10, momentary sound. Write this to the decoder. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm confused about, is the independent brake. The independent brake isn't making a noise when I hit the independent brake, nor is it doing... Only thing I can think of is the setting you have for the specific throttle and not the ESU digital. Yeah, I don't... we can try this. Let's see. Sound slot settings. Let's go here. If I hit preview... So that's interesting. Why is there no sound playing right now? Like if I go to, let's say, the bell. Oh, that was really loud. But if I go there, I hear a sound. Play only if dry sound. Brake set release. I don't know. Coupler clank. There's the coupler sound. It was a horn. I was wrong. The Nathan whatever's the horn. This is the bell. So independent brake. If I turn this off, I guess turn the volume up. Maybe that'll help. So I don't hear anything. Yeah, volume is set low. So I just brought it up, but I still don't hear anything. But maybe now that I turned it up, let's write it to the decoder. Maybe now when I hit the button, I'll hear something when it's moving. Maybe. Huh. I remember when I did V3.5 and 4, the dynamic brake would only half the speed. I'm getting it to stop. Yeah, so this is what I'm trying right now. I'm going to come here. I'm going to hit go. Let's let it come online. Oh, let's go this way. Get it moving. F10. Ah, so that is so I am hearing the brake sound there. So F10 is playing the brake sound. Do you hear it? Although that's not the brake sound. That's like clanking. Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, so this is a select micro. I believe there is a V5 micro that could be swapped out with this. So I don't know. Is there a brake sound other than squeal? Well, and I guess that's I guess the other interesting question would be, so that didn't sound like a brake function, so which... That's definitely compressor. That's fan. That probably has to play while moving. So I don't know. Oh, here, brake sound, brake squeal. Huh. Brake sound, brake squeal. But that's not applied to anything. Huh. Function mapping. You can't assign it here. There's nothing. It doesn't let me assign brake squeal. Brake sound squeal. Slot 24, 25, 26, 27. So that should be 26. So if I go to function mapping and I select slot 20, see, but this is only going up to slot 24. Is brake squeal just on and off? Maybe, is it a logical function maybe? Dynamic brake, shift mode, disable brake sound. Maybe it's just supposed to happen automatically? It doesn't have a barking dog sound, but it probably could. Yeah, it should happen as I slow down, but I don't hear it slow down. Right? If I go back to here and I get it moving, and let it start up. Oh, that's interesting. So I get it moving. And then if I hit... Oh, I forgot I have to bring the throttle down. If I hit F4, it doesn't squeal, but it stops. Oh, brake sound won't work unless we're going above speed step 4. Huh. Oh, hold on. All right, so we're going to go up. So it's moving. I changed mine. If I press F10, which is what it should do, F10 should be playing the independent brake and it should be stopping the locomotive. Oh, you know, I do actually have rolling roads. See, I can hit F10 and it doesn't do nothing. I'm at the point where I'm not getting anywhere. And I'm at the point where I don't know what to do at this point. I'm out of ideas. If anybody's got any thoughts, leave them in the comments below. Hopefully I'll figure this out. But I honestly don't know. Yeah, exactly. No more decoder programming shows because does it have directions? No. I wish it did. Apparently I need to learn German. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of the week. I'll see everybody Sunday. I'm doing Sidetrack Sunday on Sunday, so please come by, and I will not be doing this on Sunday. I will be doing something else, something more fun from the city that never sleeps. Farewell, model citizens.
It's all about humanity.